On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, the EU is at it again with a proposal to allow the European Central Bank to freeze deposits. What a surprise. On the positive side, the Ethereum Foundation has released a boatload of content from Devcon 3. It's the recordings of all the various talks. And Trace Mayer gives some perspective on why the rise of Bitcoin is no surprise at all. So all of that and a mini market roundup on today's episode of the Cryptoverse, so stay right there. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney. Before we get into the news today, I want to ask a question. How do you know if you're making a real difference? How do you know if you're making a real difference to people? Well, when one of your students sends you a Thanksgiving card all the way from the USA, and not only that, this is Kathy C, sends you a t-shirt, a blue one, of course, because that's the one I wear, with a Bitcoin logo on it. Now, I'm not sure if I can wear this on the show because some of this yellow has a bit of green color in it. Oh, no, it's actually okay. I thought the green screen effect might affect the actual t-shirt, but it's okay. So maybe I can wear this. So Kathy sent me this all the way from the USA in a gold box. So when that kind of thing happens, you know you're making a real difference. So Kathy C, big up yourself. Thanks for that. Let's move on to the news now. Story. Bank deposits no longer off limits as the European Central Bank seeks power to freeze deposits. Well, where would this come from? It comes from Bloomberg. You remember recently I was talking about, I recommended everyone check out Martin Armstrong and the old economic confidence model that he created that is featured in that movie, The Forecaster, right? Well, we have now reached the peak economic confidence according to that model, right? We actually reached that on the 24th of November, the peak of economic confidence. And you can see that today in the crypto markets, right? Big gains across the board. That is exactly what you would expect if we were at peak economic confidence, right? And also stock market all-time highs and all that kind of stuff. However, this is the peak, remember, the actual peak of Martin Armstrong's model. And it predicts then that it won't happen overnight, right? But it does turn on the 24th of November. So the confidence will then begin to slide, according to his model, gradually slide over the next 2 or 3 years towards January 2020 when it will hit bottom, according to his model. And then when I see articles like this on Bloomberg, it makes me think that, you know, the politicians and the central bankers are also expecting a downturn. Yeah, because this law would prevent a bank run if customers got wind that their bank was in trouble, right? This law is talking about limiting the amount you could withdraw from the bank because that would make the bank's problems even worse. And since there's only a fraction of cash on hand to cover customer deposits in the banking system, the integrity of the old banking system relies on everyone actually leaving the money in there. The whole system relies on that. So it's also another reason why I believe people are finding cryptocurrency so attractive, not only as a store of value, but as a way to protect their wealth from confiscation, right? Which these central banks and governments are doing increasingly. So there we go. That was really for you folks that haven't yet stepped into cryptocurrencies for real and are still sitting on the sidelines. I thought if you want another reason why you need to get involved, there's one. Move on to story number 2. Recordings of the Devcon 3 conference are now live on YouTube. There is a ton of it. There's everything on how to use snarks to turnkey smart contracts. There's a talk on the 0x protocol for decentralized exchanges. The list goes on and on and on. Fortunately, they have organized it into several playlists. So I'll give you a link to this page here so you can check it out for yourself. It's not organized into themes, it's organized into days and rooms. So you've got Devcon 3 day 1 main hall, breakout hall, then day 2, day 3, yeah. But there's so much of it. This is keep you busy for hours, if not days, like 19 videos in that one, 18 videos in the next one. So that's a boatload of content if you're interested in getting deep into the Ethereum stuff. I haven't consumed it all myself, of course not. They only just released it like yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, they only released it yesterday, so I have not been through it all yet. I've listened to a couple of talks, but I'll be working my way through that as best that I can. And then the third thing I wanted to talk about today is, as Bitcoin nears $10,000, Trace Mayer, his latest article is trending on Steemit. It's also being talked about in the industry by many people. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and, pundits and so on praising this article, so I went ahead and read it myself, of course, go back to the source. It's comprehensive, put it that way. And I think the timing of this article is pretty much perfect because it acts as a really good resource for people who want to understand how the continued rise of Bitcoin is possible at this pace, right? And how it continues to be possible. You'd be forgiven for thinking that the rise was a freak event because if we were dealing with the old financial system, then it would be a bit freaky, right? However, Bitcoin has combined money with network effects and done so for the first time in history, blended them together. When you introduce network economics, not just into the value of a company, but directly onto the money itself, you get Bitcoin and the meteoric rise that we are experiencing. Anyway, if you don't have a huge attention span, then, break the article up into several sections or several sessions, but just don't rub yourself with the information. And if you do have the attention span, I do encourage you to read the post yourself. And if not, break it up into several sections, but get it one way or another. Finally today, Bitcoin is going to be featured in a cryptocurrency themed episode of The Big Bang Theory. Check this out. Here's a promo that's been released. And by the looks of the promo, the story is that the characters mined some Bitcoin in the early days when it wasn't worth anything, and then they suddenly discover that Bitcoin is worth $5,000, and then they forget where it's stored, and that's the whole drama in the episode. So this trailer is only 20 seconds. Let me play it for you.
I can't believe a single Bitcoin is worth $5,000.
Didn't we mine some a few years ago?
It's a Big Bang windfall.
What are you going to do with your share of the money?
Buy a tiger. But don't count your Bitcoin.
How much is in there?
It's empty.
Before it's...
You know where it is?
Should I be the bigger man?
You should.
Oh, why'd I ask you?
New Big Bang Theory next Thursday.
There we go. 20-second clip next Thursday. What was that? The 29th, was it? Oops. Let me mute it so I can find out what the date was. So it says the 8th of the 7th. That sounds like it's already been aired, doesn't it? Yeah. It says next Thursday, 8th to the 7th C, whatever that is. You Americans do the dates the other way around, but that looks like it's already aired. But there we go. So let me know in the comments below if you know what that date is. But either way, that's good for the whole cryptocurrency space because it's going to raise awareness to the mainstream of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Anyway, let's do a real quick market roundup, courtesy of OCFX. We have today Cardano being the biggest mooner of the day, up 46%, 46.33% on the day to 5 cents. I was saying like meteoric rises across the board. We've got that. We've got EOS, unfortunately, up 33.45%. I say unfortunately because I'm still acquiring it. It's now up to $2.61. When just a few weeks ago it was down below 50 cents. Following that, we've got the Digix DAO going up 30.3% to $113.59. And then the fourth biggest winner of the day is Ardor, raising to 34 cents today, having gained 23.69%. And then Golem up 17.91% to $30 itself. Let's do a couple of biggest losers. We've got Populous down to $10.81, having lost 4.35%. Relatively small loss considering the big gains, and Dogecoin down 4.24% to 0.19 cents. So a fraction of a cent there. So there's a quick, real quick market roundup there. Let's finish off by giving a welcome to some new patrons. I may not have the most subscribers in the world, but I'm definitely getting the love with 6 new patrons this week. We have a new supporter, Willie18158. Welcome to you. We have another supporter, Dr. Alia S, another supporter. Then we have, for regular patrons, we have Elena O from the USA. We have John W from Canada, Jason C from the USA, and then Christine M from Switzerland. Welcome to you all. Thank you very much for supporting the Cryptoverse and helping me to boost cryptocurrency adoption, and at the same time getting access to all my step-by-step online courses. Alrighty then guys, thanks very much for joining me today. If you liked this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my step-by-step online courses that will teach you things like how to make and save money with Bitcoin, check out my website, which is cryptoversity.com. Click on the courses section and you'll be able to take any one of those online courses that were made by my good self. Alright guys, that is all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.